when you're teaching number lines, the way we're going to start, you're going to want to have cut out 3 worms. Pretend this is red. Don't laugh at me. Alright, so we're going to do fractions on number lines. The easiest way to think of it is as pieces of a worm. So, here is my worm. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mark the start of my worm and the stop of my worm. The start is 0 because there are no worms. Right? And then we go ahead and the end is 1 because this is 1 worm. Okay, now, if I go like this, and cut my worm, don't worry, worms, they live if you cut them into pieces. What fraction of my worm is this piece? 1/2. It's 1 piece out of 2 altogether. Well, we can't really mark that very easily on a number line. We're going to have to use a little like tick mark to show the start and stop of each piece. So this was 1 piece. I'm going to draw a little mark to show it stopped, right? And then we have the next piece. So this mark is 1/2 because it's 1 piece so far out of 2 pieces. The thing you really want to notice is in terms of the pieces of worm, there were 2 pieces of worm. But look at how many little tick marks there were. There were how many tick marks? 3. So when I'm doing fractions on a number line, I can't count the tick marks. I have to count the pieces of worm between the tick marks. That's the most important thing. I have to count the pieces of worm between the tick marks. Let's do another one. This is my blue worm. I'm going to cut him like this. Poor worm. How many pieces did I have? 3. So each piece is what fraction? 1/3. 1/3. But watch what happens. I don't mark, in order to mark 3 pieces on here, I start at 0, I put a little tick mark, that's the end of 1 piece, that's 1/3. You might want to tape these, you guys. I would tape these. Here, that's 2/3. And then here, what's that? What fraction is that? That's a whole, or we could say 3/3. Again, you don't want to count these lines. Really, we're counting the pieces of worm between the lines. All right, you're going to do the same example with the green worm if you feel like the kids need it, okay? And now, let's talk about how we do it when the lines are already drawn for you. Remember, you don't want to just start counting lines and putting numbers because there are pieces of worm from 0 to 1. 1 worm got cut. So these are the steps. Step 1, you count all the pieces for the denominator. Now I made the program do this for you the first time. So watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you do it on your paper, you're going to put your pen here and you're going to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 pieces of worm here. So my denominator is going to be, oh, guess what? It already does it for you. 5. Step 2, you shade the number of pieces for the numerator. So this amount is 1 out of my 5. The next one is 2 out of my 5. And on your paper, you're actually going to shade it in and shade it in. So 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5, and this is secretly 5 out of 5. All right, you can stop recording, Heather.